All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to City Boys Podcast with another week of MLS action. It's the City Boys. I'm Grayson.
It's Ethan.
And I'm Jacob.
Yeah, boys, we are back with a match review for a big 2-2 draw against AustinFC. It was a pretty disappointing game with some late action to claim that 1 point. Ethan, you want to kick it off into like a little match review?
Yes, sir. So the real action begins early on in the match with a corner kick goal from Austin in the 13th minute. Center back Matt Hedges put it away. A little disappointing and potentially controversial with some physical play. It is a professional league, so you can't expect that physicality, but questionable from a biased standpoint. Later on in the second half, Edu nets his first of the season with a clinical penalty kick. It's going to be really big for him to just see the ball hit the back of the net, especially this early on in the season. Later on, basically right off the back of Edu's PK, a long throw gets improperly cleared, sent down to the line, crossed over to the back post, and their other center back, Cascante, blinds the back of the net with a totally free header, just butt naked on the back post. But of course, our hero, our savior recently, Celio Pompeu, finds the back of the net in the 93rd minute. Play it on. They really had us on the edge of their seats for this one. But Thomas Totland gets the ball right on the end line. Dinged corner. Celio connected pretty well. He hit the ball kind of toward the ground, took a nice deflection, and it did find the back of the net. A little disappointing that we only get 1 point from this game, but good that we did get a point. I'd say that Celio earning another team of the match day performance is massive once again for City. Those are the big events of the match.
Yeah, Celio, if we all remember from last week, was my pick to score in this game. So I was pretty pumped up for that at the end of the game, not only to get a draw, but also I'm a little bit of a fortune teller.
Does that bring you up to, I think, 2 points on the season in the prediction table? Called the one last week as well. So I will go ahead and add that to my tally.
I don't know if I did. We're gonna have to watch that one back. I know I at least have 1 point.
At least have one. Great shot on calling that goal from Pompeu. He's really started to tear it up this beginning of his second season. He's getting that regular playing time, and it's really starting to pay off for City.
Yeah, he looks comfortable. He looks confident out there on the left side. He's, in my opinion, got the spot locked down at the moment. We did see Rasmus Alm come on late against Austin, so I think that the competition is heating up in that position, especially. But yeah, Celio is he's our man of the moment.
Before we move into our 3 points for this week, I do want to bring up a little discussion about these VAR calls that should have been reviewed a little bit more, in my opinion. 2 big decisions in this game that potentially could have changed the outcome. The first one being a cross from Edward Leuven that tucks over the top. Tim Parker ducks out of the way. It hits the post and almost looks like it crosses the line.
It looked a little bit more than almost, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that a good portion of the ball was over the line. We just don't know exactly what amount for some reason.
So definitely some improvements to be made in the MLS terms, in terms of infrastructure when it comes to refereeing, supplying these refs with the correct camera angles to make these educated decisions. Another VAR choice. A look at that first goal from Austin FC. The goal scorer, Matt Hedges, upon looking back on that play, it was hard to find an angle for myself, but I did find one, and it did look like there was a little bit of a shove from Matt Hedges on Durkin's back, pushing him out of the way. The MLS, there's always going to be some physicality in the box. I just wish we would have taken a look at it.
I know this is a men's league and it's a man's game, but from just the replay on the television directly after the goal, it was full arms extended, like basically pushed Durkin's head into the dirt before jumping up and getting that header. The fact that we didn't even go and look at it on a screen from the center ref's perspective to go and just take a look and see if everything was copacetic was really upsetting because I know I was yelling at my phone, which is how I watched the game, in the middle of a restaurant. I was pretty pissed off seeing him get shoved in the back.
We know these are not the preferred referees, but yeah, I think you make a really good point, Grayson. The MLS needs to help them out as much as possible.
And speaking of these set pieces, Ethan, you want to share with us your point from this week's match?
Yes, sir. So my first point is going to be set piece defense. I know our second goal didn't come from a set piece, but I know that a lot of coaches will treat a long throw in just like a set piece. And that's at almost every level. We did that in the Division Three level, so I imagine that in the MLS they have some type of tactic or strategy. I think that if we can shore up our defending in general, if we can manage to keep a clean sheet, that's going to be big in the implications of where our season finishes overall. I know it's really early to be making these kinds of judgments, but conceding two against Austin, one against Salt Lake, and really having to claw back for a point is going to make a big difference in the long run. So if we can manage to keep a clean sheet, that'll help the team the most.
I was super interested to see that we did get scored on twice from these set pieces because we do have such a strong center back pairing when it comes to headers. Tim Parker and Joachim Nilsson are both really strong aerial players. Tim Parker's verticals got to be insane. So I was disappointed to see that we did let in 2 goals from headers. Of course, it wasn't completely their fault either. The second one, the player Cristante was completely unmarked. Markinick had 3 players around him, had no help. Finding our marks and staying with them is, yeah, definitely going to be important in the long haul. Getting 1 goal back and we get 3 points out of this game.
Yeah, and let it be known that this is not really a critique or even a criticism or, saying that our defense can do this better because I think you make a great point, especially our center backs are great at defending. I think it's maybe those early season jitters that we need to work out, but the more clean sheets we rack up, the better. Again, a great point, Grayson. The lapses in focus really hurt us. That's why we had to claw and scrap for a single point this match. So we can shore those up. Yeah, we're a championship level team.
Set pieces as a whole from the game, not just defending, but also in the attacking portion of the field could have been better. Other than the corner kick where Tim Parker scored, I think it was first game, we haven't really been nearly as lethal on our own corners. We're kind of, I mean, Leuven is a great set piece taker, but it doesn't feel like we're finding our heads in an attacking position. We're finding either a throw in for the other team or it's an auto clearance or catch by the keeper.
I did notice we started taking short free kicks later in the match. And I think this is partly because we were finding some positive movement in controlling the ball in their half and just possessing it and driving them back into their own box. And kudos to Austin's center back, both of them getting the goals. And just a real dominant performance from both of them, Matt Hedges and Cristante.
Yeah, fair play to
Also,
them. They both played well.
shout out to their keeper as well. Definitely those 3 earned AustinFC their point from this week.
Yeah, so with that being said, Grayson, you want to take us into the second point?
Yeah, so gonna break down another solid midfield performance from St. Louis City FC. A little bit of a different look than we've seen last season and the beginning of this season because Austin really let us have the ball, which is, something we don't see too often in the St. Louis City playbook. At the end of the game, had 69%. Oh, wait, it wasn't 69% possession, was it?
That'd be awesome. That's a great number.
St. Louis City to have 60% possession is outrageous.
That's crazy for City.
In familiar areas, though. We had more passes in their half again. My light just fell over on me. But yeah, just fantastic play from our midfield. Great recovery performance again from Durkin and Leuven. winning the ball back high in possession and just turning the ball back, quick turnarounds into chances. And we did take a lot of pop shots from outside the box. And that definitely comes from quick turnovers on the ball and taking snapshots, trying to catch Stover out of position.
Yeah, it was awesome to see Vasilev take that left-footed shot. It was so close, and I really hope just to see more and more of that.
Little finesse curler to the back post. That would have been nice.
We almost had a goal when whatchamacallit, AZ was on a breakaway, got around Stuver, who was way off of his line, completely out of the box, and then did a layoff pass for Leuven, who just missed his mark one time and put it over the bar. We were really close scoring there. And that's, I think if we score there, we change the entire outcome of the game.
Mm-hmm. We were definitely pushing at the end of that first half. It was really nice to see us come back out at the start of the second half and still have that fire and that drive to get that back. And we saw an immediate reward with AZ's penalty win and see Edward Leuven get his first goal of the season, thanks to a little penalty. Solid placement from him. Just nice, calm, slotted right down the middle. Wanted to touch on Pompeu. Yeah, definitely had that really nice man of the match performance. Ton of energy and directness in his play, which definitely showed off in his stats. He had 6 completed dribbles, more than anyone else on the field.
Dude, I mean, Celio looks just dangerous when he picks up the ball high up the field. Frankly, when he picks up the ball, you're expecting something exciting to happen at this point, and it's no surprise when it does. I also saw that he had 9 touches in the opposition box, which is so dangerous. So he was one of our highest players up the field. He's been so good this season.
Yeah, Celio had Gallagher in a spin cycle anytime they were out 1v1. I was like just biting my nails because I know the whole game I wanted him to score just for this podcast. But then anytime you picked up the ball one-on-one, I was like, I would not want to be that right back right now on an island going up against a guy who's on fire. He's in form. His confidence is exuding his entire body. Celio Pompeo is, I think, all of our man of the match for our team. But I'd probably give man of the match overall to their goalkeeper. That motherfucker was standing on his head.
Brad Stuber ended the match with 5 saves.
5 saves.
5 saves. 13 recoveries in the box. Definitely a really dominant performance from him. Getting high to claim the ball. Pretty good distribution. There was a couple chances for Austin that came from him releasing the ball from long throws. Durkin had a great game, created 3 big chances, something we don't usually see. Saw good tidiness on the ball again from him.
Gray, the last point I want to make is just agreeing with you about Chris Durkin. The work rate alone has been a really valuable addition to our squad. And to see him fairly high up the field and creating chances, that's one of the first things that we talked about is where are these chances going to come from if it's not Edu? Well, Vasilev and Durkin are stepping up to the plate, and of course Celio in a huge way.
Yeah, I think Durkin, the reason I like him a lot is the same reason I liked Stroud a lot last year, is he doesn't stop running. Now, Stroud played with a little bit of an edge to his game where he definitely could have taken some people's ankles. Not in a dribbling asset or in a dribbling sense either. In a I'm gonna 2-foot you in the second minute for no reason sense. Durkin plays a little bit more calm and not as fiery, but he works just as hard, if not harder, than Stroud did last year, and that's for sure winning the hearts of St. Louis City fans.
Jacob, you want to finish us off with our third point?
Yeah, so my point this week is all about perseverance. I think it's really important for us as a squad to have these type of games early on where we do go away to a stadium like Q2 Stadium where it is difficult to play. They've got the lights, their fans are loud and rowdy. We don't get the calls in the box that we should have, like the shove in the back, and we keep going, we keep fighting, and we're able to get a point out of a game like this. I think down the stretch, it's going to be one of those games we look back on where we were like, wow, getting +1 here instead of 0 was really vital to where we end in the standings. I was really proud of our boys for keeping their heads up, even though it was it was a tough game. A lot of bounces did not go our way, like the Edu missed shot, the shove in the back that I mentioned multiple times, the fact that they have all this Apple TV money and can't invest in goal line technology absolutely blows my mind. But not even taking a second look at that shot on VAR was really upsetting. And I know for me as a player on the field, I probably would have lost my head and for sure gotten carded because I'd have been so upset. They just kept fighting down to the last minute. Literally, the last play of the game was our attacking corner where we were trying to steal 3 points from this match. So, just really proud of the boys. Upset we didn't get more from it, but still happy that we were able to get a point.
Very well said. You kind of pumped me up. I was feeling kind of down about that performance. A little bummed that we didn't get all the 3 points from that match, but this match could have very easily been a loss. But yeah, thanks to some last minute heroics and determination, willingness to keep fighting till the whistle blows, which is something that I think is definitely becoming part of St. Louis's personality, something that the club embodies, and I think it's something that will last as long as the club does.
Absolutely. That is the St. Louis City DNA. And to see it play out, I nearly forgot that we were trying to snatch those 3 points at the end. I mean, not for 1 second did we ever look down and out, and surely not losing that game. It is, we've said it multiple times. It's frustrating that we only got a point out of that, especially in a performance where we're on the front foot for at least 60% of the match, I would say. A really overall dominating performance from City, and they're still finding their feet.
That's true. So with that win, or sorry, with that tie, with that, I'm pumped, guys. I'm
It
pumped. Okay, with that draw, that puts us in fourth place on the table. We're level with LA Galaxy still. We are 1 point ahead of Vancouver. 2 points behind first place though. Uh, Tied for first is Portland and Minnesota on 7 points. So really not far behind the top. We got a long season to go. And of course, the people right in front of us, LA Galaxy, are who we are going to be playing against next week. What do we think about that coming matchup?
I would say looking at LA Galaxy, I was unable to watch the game that they had this weekend, but I did get to watch the highlight recap on YouTube. And they're a problem. They're a really good side. They could have easily won this last weekend, 4-2 against Nashville. Puig or Puge or Ricky, however you want to say his name, is a dangerous ass midfielder. He had some passes just in the highlights that didn't become goals that were very De Bruyne esque of him. So he's one to watch out for. Their striker, Joveljic, looks lethal as fuck.
The monster.
I I will say I think our gegenpress style going into this type of match is going to help us because they're going to want the ball. That's their entire DNA is to outpossess us, and I think that's going to be really good for us. We're just going to have to be so clinical in our counterattack.
That's definitely true. LA Galaxy has one of the most productive midfields in the MLS. Of course, Ricky Puig, the young starlet from Barcelona, came over and took over the MLS. He's a fantastic creative player. They got Cerrillo, solid center defensive mid, who just recently locked up Messi, and then Mark Delgado, MLS veteran, spent most of his time at Toronto FC, but has really fit into that LA Galaxy midfield. They do play that really possessive style, but I've also seen their defense lose their heads at times. They have Martin Caceres as their DP center back. Spent a lot of time at Juve. He he can be a hothead. He can lose his head, and I think the way that St. Louis plays can frustrate this LA Galaxy side, and we can see some some heat, some hot matchups as Klaus and Caceres get into it.
That's what I was thinking, Gray, is that this game is going to provide, I think, the most interesting matchups that St. Louis has seen so far this season. And this game, I think, has the biggest implications on our season. I think that these are two of the teams that everyone has their eyes on in the Western Conference, and it has high expectations for both sides. Lovin and Delgado in the midfield are going to match up really well. I'm excited to see Pompeu running it, Caiceres, and giving him trouble. But I think I'm most excited to see is how St. Louis adjusts their style of play. We've seen that they are a little more flexible this season, I think, as they've switched formations and last season, or excuse me, last game, they were much more dominant on the ball. So I'm curious if we'll see the come out on the front foot St. Louis City or the scrappy take their chances kind of St. Louis City side. This opens up uh, a good opportunity for us to see Durkin, Blom, and Lovin in the center of the park, assuming that Blom is healthy. I really hope he is because I would love to see how he matches up against Ricky Pooch. But yeah, just all in all, very interesting game.
I really like how this 4-4-2 has been working, but yeah, this last match our strikers isolated, so hopefully we can get um our striker more involved in this match. This next match is gonna be a lot of chasing, but that's what we're here to do. So we're gonna chase the ball, hopefully get a sneaky goal in here and there. Match prediction, boys. What are we thinking?
So I'm predicting a 2-2 draw, which is exactly what both of these teams had this last weekend. We tied Austin, obviously, and they tied Nashville 2-2. I think the way that we play the Gegenpress style is going to give them trouble, and hopefully we'll sneak two past them. I'm also not crazy about the fact that our defense is going to be able to hold up against a very, very good attacking style that LA's got. So 2-2 draw. And my player, I'm looking to start Klaus, and I'm looking for him to get on the score sheet. He just needs to see one roll and then watch out rest of the league. He might end the season with 22 goals. Who knows?
He is a hot streak type of player, so they come in bunches. I will go ahead and yell out my prediction. As a former LA Galaxy fan, it's kind of difficult. The transition was a little strange, trying to decide, am I still gonna support LA Galaxy partly? And the answer is no. St. Louis is gonna whoop your ass. It's gonna be a 2-1 win. And it's gonna come from exactly what I said. LA Galaxy is gonna possess the ball. They're gonna think they have it in the bag, and we're gonna sneak two past them.
Hell yeah. That fired me up, Grayson. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I
Uh,
love that.
Goal scorers. I'll pick one because I think that's the rule. Pick one goal scorer. uh, ooh, who's of course Celia's the hot hand. I think that we're gonna get another Edward Loven goal. Make it 2-2 games.
I like that a lot. I really hope that happens, Grayson. For my prediction, I'm gonna say that I think it's gonna be a high scoring affair. We have a lot of class in the team right now. And while our defense is still finding themselves, while I think that clean sheets are important, I don't think they're extremely realistic right now. So I'm saying 3-2 St. Louis City. Late on another late victory. I think that just exemplifies our team so well. When you guys took some good players, Jao Klaus and Lovin, but I really like one other person to score who hasn't quite found the back of the net yet, but has been on the score sheet. Mr. Indiana Vasilev, one of our dark horse players, I think. A lot of personality, and he brings it on the field. So I think that especially in really close games like this, it's going to be kind of those teams that players might lose focus on while they're focused on a player like Udo Lovin or Klaus or Pompeu. Their eyes drift away from Mr. Vasilev, and I think that's when he punishes teams. So I'm expecting from Indy this week.
Final match day thoughts before we kick off into our
I mean,
little
you guys just make
section.
me look like a bad fan as the one rooting for a tie. You guys are both rooting for a victory.
Can't speak it into existence. It takes a lot of strength to make a call like that. So kudos.
My logic is that both of their previous fixtures have finished in draws, so it's got to give here. It's got to give in the 2024 season. One team is going to come out on top.
All right, so to close it out, last week we did a little breakdown, look at the freshest fits from pre-match. This weekend it was an away game, so everyone wore the same damn thing. Everyone wore the same tracksuit. Uh,
Yeah.
so we're introducing a new segment this week on topic. It's Kit Clash. We're gonna give these two kits a 1 out of 10 score. I'll keep track. I'll write it in my phone. We'll see who ends up with the top rated jersey on the season. Could be City. Might be a little biased if it is. We'll see. But
Us biased towards City.
who? What? What? What?
We're not the city boys or anything like that.
That would be ridiculous. But hey, there is some fire kits in the MLS this season. But yeah, Austin had this geometric, all lined up, liney green. I really like this kit. When they dropped it, I'm a big fan of the green, big fan of the verde. So I give this kit an 8.6. I think it's a banger. As for the Confluence kit, it's a fucking beaut. I was a
That's
little
huge.
little hesitant at first. I'm gonna give the Confluence kit initially. I probably would have given it a 6.8 just because that's how I was feeling at the time. But like all things St. Louis, it grows on me over time. I'm here for the long haul. This shit's a beaut. I'm giving it 8.8. 8.8. I like the white and the river concept. It's home.
So if I were a hater, which I might say that the Austin FC kit kind of looks like a really big barcode wrapped around these guys. If I were a hater, I might say that it looks like you could, scan their jersey. But I am also a huge fan of the green. I gotta give Austin their props on this. And I do like the geometric lines, but I kind of wish they would have gone for a more consistent pattern. So in my mind, that loses points. I do want to shout out the Austin crowd though and the atmosphere there. It looked insane. After Austin scored their goal, I was like, wow, that looks like a cool place to watch a soccer game. So fair play to them. I'm gonna give this kit a solid 8 on the money. It's above average. It's a kit that I would wear if I were a fan. For the Confluence kit, though, the home bias is hitting heavy as well. I won't lie, but I am a sucker for an all white kit. I think that looks so pretty on the field. And when players get dirty, I think it looks awesome. It shows the work rate. Not to mention the complete unique design between every single jersey. Well, and the city red never misses. So for that to be the accent color, yeah, that was a hit for me. Plus, my elementary school was Confluence Academy. Shout out to the South City. So the Confluence kit was gonna hit home for me. I'm giving our boys a 9.2 on that kit. It's one of my
Ooh,
favorite in the MLS
damn.
this year, and it's one of those kits that I'm like, I have to have that. I have to have that. I want to wear it to a game. Yeah.
Damn.
Despite the ridiculous prices. I do want to say that though. The jersey prices this year are ridiculous.
The jersey purchase will be coming soon, but we'll see.
Yeah, same for me as well. Obviously, as you guys have seen, I don't really have a St. Louis City jersey available to me. I just have a shirt and a hoodie, and those will make an appearance on here at some point. But yeah, unlike you guys, not a huge fan of the Austin kit. It
Mm.
there's too much going on, and at the same time, it looks dull to me. Like the
Oh,
lines, and it's green. Yeti is a pretty dope kit sponsor. Not gonna cap. I'm gonna give it a 6.3 out of 10. And
I think that's fair.
just like everybody else on this podcast, I was not hot on the Confluence kit when they first dropped it. Looking at it on social media, these two can attest. I was dogging it hard in the group chat,
You wrote a
saying it was
whole paragraph
trash.
on this shit. A whole paragraph.
Yeah, it was a tough release for me at first. I was pretty disappointed, and then I saw the pre-match fits. I was like, "Ooh, okay." I kind of like the colors together, and then I saw them come out for the actual game, and I was like, "Yeah, all right." They shut me right the fuck up. These kids look dope as shit. I love the all white with the red accents. Hard to tell when you're watched on your phone the differences between each jersey, so I'm just gonna take you guys' word for it. Um, but I'm pretty high on these jerseys now. I'm gonna give them a 9.2, 9.2.
That's solid. We'll have to see in the next couple of weeks how those match up with, our home kits. I don't know. Are we still wearing those gray away kits, or did those get retired since the Confluence kit came out?
yeah, those got retired.
RIP, RIP. But yeah, any final thoughts, prayers?
Prayers, we need to man mark Puig all game and maybe even foul him out early.
Dude, I think my final thought is just that once again, I'm uber excited to watch St. Louis City this weekend, despite the 10:30 Eastern kickoff time. This team, I love it so much. Watching them gives me so much joy, and I'm excited for a good matchup. Good matchups are hard to come by when you're St. Louis City. So
It's going to be a real hard game. It's going to be a fun game to watch. Hopefully, the outcome goes our way. But that was our big 3 points from this matchup. Well, hopefully, St. Louis can give us a big 3 points next week. But this has been episode or match day 3 from MLS from City Boys. I've been Grayson. Thank you guys.
I'm Ethan.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, dislike even, because we haven't got one of those yet.
Yeah, let me hear your hot takes. If I said something stupid, I want to hear about it. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.